I said, what is good, YouTube? It's your boy Diesel0725 and today we got ourselves another reaction because we be reacting, protracting, and be backing per use. Now, do it. We got ourselves a gameplay reaction. Excuse me. It's that Banyan. But this is the Resident Evil 9 Requiem gameplay trailer, and I heard that there was going to be a boss fight up in there, so we get to take a look at that and get some more details on what we can expect, you know, the gameplay to be like in this game. So without further ado, let's get right into this mode like some hunting. Hold up. Hold the fuck up. Hold on, Leon. Hold on. There we go.
With the triumphant return of Leon Kennedy, Resident Evil Requiem is forced to straddle an awkward line between all-out action and methodical survival horror. I'll be honest, before getting my hands on the game and seeing the transition in action, I was extremely skeptical that Capcom would be able to create a coherent experience involving both Leon and Grace.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Okay.
The latest highly vulnerable protagonist.
Hey, over here.
The switching between their polar opposite styles sounds jarring, which is almost never a good thing. And although it's been a while, it's not like we haven't been burned by Capcom's desire to push the series towards action before. But I'm pleased to share that from my all too brief 3 hour.
Hey, hold up. Leon be putting in them shots for real. Ouch!
Hey, over here.
The switching between their polar opposites.
Yeah, I'm like, Grace, you're not moving fast enough.
Styles sounds jarring, which is almost never a good thing. And although it's been a while, it's not like we haven't been burned by Capcom's desire to push the series towards action before.
That was what, 5 headshots in a row? Look at the old
desire to push.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! That ew, that's great.
Push the series towards action before.
Ew, look at it.
But I'm pleased to share that from my all too brief 3 hours of hands-on time with Resident Evil Requiem, not only does this design really work, but there's also a lot more going on than just a merging of Resident Evil's greatest hits.
That's too effective.
My playtime started with a short test drive of Leon, and Resident Evil 4 muscle memory kicked in immediately. Make no mistake, this plays just like the recent remake, enhanced with some new clever additions suitable for a veteran badass. Leon is more handy than ever, with a deadly hatchet that can swing mercilessly.
So now, seeing that, I'm wondering if like whetstones are going to be a resource, you know, or the whatever they use to sharpen the hatchet. I wonder if that's going to be a resource.
Mercilessly added to his regular arsenal.
Bitch!
Leon can also heave axes found in the world, can perform new contextual finishing moves, and finally wield new contextual finishing moves, and finally
had a Uzi out and everything. Blew her top.
He wield the violent chainsaw. There was once a time when Leon feared the chainsaw, but now Leon has become Chainsaw, destroyer of ghouls. After a short 15
So they're ghouls now.
minutes, the gameplay shifted perspective to Grace Ashcroft, Requiem's second protagonist, picking up her journey immediately after the events of the previous demo I wrote about in August last year. Grace and Leon are polar opposites, gone with the tense gunfights and forward momentum of Resident Evil 4, as I was immediately thrust into what felt like a sterile, white, clean version of Resident Evil 7. For the next
These graphics look beautiful. You can see like the shadows and the different sheens from the light off the different surfaces. Man, they put some time into this mug. I'll tell you that one now. This looks amazing.
Next 2 hours, I explored the Rhodes Hill Chronic Care Centre, a somewhat traditional Resident Evil mansion that contains much of what you might expect among its rooms and corridors, but with plenty of new surprises.
Scary. Ooh.
Surprises that mostly arise thanks to Grace's abilities.
Ooh, wait, did y'all see that transition though? From first to third.
Much of what you might expect among its rooms and corridors, but with plenty of new surprises.
And then
Surprises
right
that
back to
mostly
first.
arise thanks to Grace's abilities, or rather, lack thereof. Much like in the previous demo, Grace's section was focused almost exclusively on survival horror. She
Hell
is
yeah.
armed with a small pistol that she finds in the environment, but her firepower and combat skills are negligible compared to our favourite floppy-haired icon. Where Leon can roundhouse kick zombies in the face, Grace makes do with a clumsy push. Leon is all-out assault, but the best course of action for Grace is slow and deliberate stealth. Because if you do try to take some of the new enemies head-on, you're gonna have a bad time. Last year's demo revealed a new and much celebrated
No, hold on. Is that the only attack that he uses? Like just 1-2? That's it? Because from the look of it, it looked like that motherfucker just kept going with it.
If you do try to take some of the new enemies head on, you're gonna have a bad time.
1, 2, hey, he
Last
was
year's
finna
demo
swing
revealed
again,
a new
that
and much
motherfucker.
celebrated stalker enemy, a towering,
Ew.
hunched, bug-eyed warden. But even within the span of my short 3-hour session, I was introduced to another 2, giving me the impression that Resident Evil Requiem won't have one Mr. X or Nemesis-like persistent threat, but rather several smaller pursuers that seem to guard certain wings of the Rhodes Hill Chronic Care Centre. Most notable was a hulking mass of blubber called Chunk, who burst through the wall and into my heart as he slowly but surely ground his way through the halls, stairwells and doorways in pursuit of me. Uniquely, Chunk fills the space entirely, so your only chance of survival is to find and navigate loops built into the level design in order to outmaneuver the walking lardass. It's a clever design
Right.
that generates a somewhat living, breathing wall of terror, and one you can't simply
Literally.
sidestep or combat roll away from.
Whoever was playing ain't no true gamer, cause you still could have grabbed that before that even happened, son. You moving too slow for me.
Much like the Stalker I escaped last year, Chunk is cleverly implemented into the context of traditional safe rooms. Where the room's bright light caused the previous Stalker pain, Chunk simply can't physically squeeze his sheer mass through the door, making sure that there's a logical
ew.
in-world
Oh,
justification
ew.
for a room of respite. As well as Chunk, I also ran into a 7-foot-tall hulking unit masquerading as a chef, who, until he noticed me, was completely focused on his chopping chores. This soon-to-be stalker wasn't yet in searching mode. Rather, he was fulfilling, I assume, his pre-infection duties. And this kind of behavior isn't unique to the chef. It turns out in Resident Evil Requiem, the traditional zombie fodder is just as much a star of the show. You see, zombies not
Wait, I saw that. I saw that. What was the melee attack? Wait, no. I saw that pop up.
Requiem, the traditional zombie fodder is just as much a star of the show. You see, zombies not only talk now,
Melee
but also
attack,
have
it
their
said
own
that.
personalities. The undead are no longer unfortunate generic lost souls, but rather husks that retain a smidge of living personalities, hanging out in the space that they once occupied. There's the lounge singing Shrieker in the bar area, who, before being alerted, entertains herself by belting out a ditty. There are the zombies who were formerly patients in recovery.
Hit that shit. She hit that shit for real.
There are the zombies who were formerly patients in
that shit.
recovery that insist on wheeling around their drip stands, which are then, unsurprisingly, wielded as a weapon when they get aggroed. Some zombies hate loud noises and will repeatedly yell at you if you even so much as smash a vase. And then there's the one that loves nothing more than turning lights on and off until you rudely interrupt him. If it's not clear by now, Resident Evil Requiem, aside from
That's a dad. He one of them don't touch my thermostat type of dads, you know what I'm saying? Like, he one of them. We saving money. We saving electricity on this upcoming bill. We saving. Fuck that. Turn these lights off.
being packed with action and fear, is also now funny, something that the series has never, at least intentionally, achieved before. As Grace creeps around the hospital,
That
there's the
boulder
continual
punching
threat that
prick.
around every corner awaits horror, or laughter, or sometimes even both. When you can hear the undead nattering away in a room you know you have to enter to achieve your next objective, it's hard to know whether to be scared or have a good chuckle. On paper, this sounds like it could be awful. I'm aware of that, but honestly, it's so good. I laughed so hard when I caught one particular dopey zombie red-handed, both literally and figuratively, lifting a large and importantly red canister to throw my way. I'm sure you can imagine what happened next. The zombie fodder isn't just around to entertain and quickly be disposed of though. As Grace, the undead are a significant threat, always moving a little faster than you anticipate. Their fallen corpses also pose a significant conundrum, as they have the ability to turn into blister heads, a reinvention of Resident Evil Remake's Crimson Heads for a new generation, that reanimate with a bulbous cranium and become significantly tougher to take down. Fortunately, Grace has a new tool at her disposal. A hemolytic injector that weaponizes the buckets of blood lying around the place. Seriously, it's everywhere. Creating a lethal injection that can be used as a preventative measure against blister heads when injecting a fallen enemy, and as a stealth attack against anything that's still moving. Beyond the new enemy types, playing as Grace does feel familiar.
Okay, so the goal as Grace is to stock the fuck up on those. Stock up on them. Get a lot of them. Farm them materials that you need to craft.
If you've played either Resident Evil 7 or Resident Evil 2. Although
Or if you've seen Blade.
obviously it leans more towards the latter if you choose to play as Grace in third person. You're exploring a huge mansion with locked doors, there are obtuse puzzles to solve, antique coins to find that can upgrade your equipment, Mr. Raccoons to shoot, safe rooms with a typewriter for saving and a storage box for inventory management, and so forth. Leon, however, can brute force open certain doors that Grace can't, and is far more aggressive with combat compared to Grace's methodical stealth. You can also choose to play as Leon in first person, though after a brief dabble, it felt very unnatural to do so. I can't help but think Capcom built the game with Leon in third person and Grace in first person in mind, but it's hard to complain about more choice, despite knowing deep down the development team surely had a preference. My demo ended with a second, all too short stint as Leon, which allowed me to revisit sections of the care center I'd previously experienced with Grace. Interestingly, this section demonstrated perhaps my favorite element of this hybrid experience. Leon is also exposed to some of the tougher combat encounters that I'd suffered through as Grace, although the perspective, much like my viewpoint of choice, is very different. When I met Chunk as Grace, I immediately retreated and was forced.
Did she pop her eardrums? Did she scream and
combat
bust her
encounters
eardrums?
that I'd suffered through as Grace, although the perspective, much like my viewpoint of choice, is very different. When I met Chunk as Grace, I immediately retreated and was forced into a game of cat and mouse. The threat is intimidating and encourages you to tread lightly. As Leon, however, emboldened by my newly acquired shotgun, I felt instantly trigger happy, unloading shells right up into Chunk's face and launching hatchet attacks on his head as part of a fight that felt somewhat reminiscent of the El Gigante encounters in Resident Evil 4. To Grace, Chunk and his fellow creeps are stalkers. To Leon, they're tired.
I don't think anything can beat that first encounter with El Gigante in Resident Evil 4. I don't think anything can beat that. That was just terrifying. They gave that motherfucker one hell of an entrance too. They made you fear him before you even knew who he was, type shit, you know?
Targets. This ethos was reaffirmed when taking on a wave of blister heads with Leon at the end of my playtime. With Grace, I waited patiently for a stealth attack opportunity. With Leon, I was hurling hand grenades and throwing axes for fun.
God damn it, get off me!
This year is the 30th anniversary of the Resident Evil series, so it feels like no coincidence that 2026's Resident Evil Requiem is combining the best ideas of the saga into what appears to be a fantastically constructed tribute to everything that makes the series so great. Do you like tense survival horror? It's here.
Yes.
Want to go all guns blazing with intense action and a quip-obsessed hero? You get to do that too. Do you prefer playing Resident Evil games in first or third person? Doesn't matter, you can do either. All of these choices, along with my fears of a jarring play experience being mostly squashed, make it easy to believe that Capcom's bold move to have its cake and eat it is going to pay off in a big way. If you like that video and want to find out more about Resident Evil Requiem, why not check out my previous preview where I discuss another Stalker enemy in great detail. And for everything else, be sure to stick with IGN.
And there you guys have it. got a little bit more detail and a little bit more inside look from somebody who has experienced the demo. Shout out to IGN. And see what we can expect. See what they have in store for us. I don't know if it's like you get to be Grace and then come back as Leon, like, you know, kind of Resident Evil 2-ish shit, or if it, that's still confusing me. But are you gonna be in first person or third person? Let me know in the comments. Are you ready to be scared shitless in like a week? Let me know in the comments. Are you ready for Leon to come back and get the blicky off the dress? Let me know in the comments, alright? Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and turn on that bell notification so you can stay up to date on when the gas gang in general, when I post, and what we be doing here in the gas gang community. But that's gonna be it. Love you guys. Have yourselves a good one. Bye.